Hello, my sweet and dirty readers. It's Sierra, and we are back for another Sierra Talks Books with Authors, where if you are sweet and you love to read dirty, then you're in the right place. And today I have a very special guest coming to us all the way from France, my friend and MooU cohort, Victoria Denault. Welcome, Victoria.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Bonjour. I'll use some of my French, which is that much.
Bonjour.
Oui, good. Anyway, so hello and welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here. And you recently had your book, Blindsided, that is part of Serena Bowen's World of True North, the MooU line, published back just about a month ago in February, right?
Yeah, February 15th.
Yes, so we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your writing career and what you've been up to the last year of the pandemic and what you have coming out in the near future. So first, let's just talk about, when did you start your writing career?
Like officially, formally, 2015. So,
all right.
Like a lot of people, I'm sure, I always loved writing. I always did it on the side as a hobby. I went to school for journalism because people always said, you can't just be an author. You can't just do that. You can't just write books. So you have to figure out another way to use writing. So I did. And then went into marketing and advertising type thing. But I was always taking courses on the side and just doing fan fiction or whatever to get my writing, to keep writing. Uh-huh. And then I was working at UCLA Extension. And they offered me free classes. When you work there, sometimes you get free classes. And I took a fiction writing class. Okay. And they brought in an agent who specialized in romance.
Ooh.
I know. And obviously, I've been writing romances because I loved it.
Yeah.
But I was like, really, all my stuff was based on hockey. And I was like, Canadian girl in Los Angeles going, nobody's going to read this. Like, I didn't know there was a hockey market. And she said there was. So I decided to submit to her agency. And she sent it to one of her agents, like my query and my, you get all excited. You're like, I can't wait for my rejection letter, and then we'll go from here. And this is, I hate telling this story because it sounds silly, but she signed me. And sold
the first one you get signed.
Yeah. And sold the trilogy like 3 months later. And then Hachette published in total 10 hockey books that I wrote. So
that is awesome. Well, that is, you accomplished something that many do not do. So congratulations on that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Something to be very proud of.
It feels like you were struck by lightning or you found the four-leaf clover, because I know it's not that easy, and it was still a lot of work, but it was a blessing. So
I think that's what that's what you have to look at, is it's still a lot of work. Writing is not. I mean, yes, we love it, but it doesn't necessarily come easy. And to write a good book that's going to sell is difficult. So
yeah,
nice. So now, are you both indie and traditionally published, or just traditional?
Just traditional, but that's changing in May, which I'm very excited.
Okay, well, a little tidbit we'll touch on here. So, World of True North. You're a hockey girl. You write primarily or all hockey romance.
So far, every single one is a hockey romance. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you become aware of Serena Bowen's World of True North. Tell us a little bit about that, about the process, and how you ended up submitting your book proposal for Blindsided.
This is another weird thing. So I was in like a writing funk. We had moved, so I was dealing for a year with a lot. There's a lot when you move to a whole new country to deal with. And we were buying a house, and there was just a lot going on. And so and my dad had died the year before. So you're in a funk, and so I just wasn't writing. I just couldn't find. I did these little ideas and go nowhere with them. And then I saw on Serena's website, because I was reading, I think, Bittersweet at the time, but I just loved her books, and I'd read Him. It was one of them. And I went to her website and I saw the form, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fill this out. And never expected to hear from her again. Then they sent Jane, submit the query, whatever. And I kind of like chickened out. Like I was just like, I just suck so much right now. I don't think I can do this. And I got an email from Serena who was like, hey, so you're interested. So I really need your query. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I got to do this. And we were on a train going to Paris at the time.
My gosh.
He was emailing me. So I sat, because our friend who was American couldn't get to her Paris apartment. So she's like, can you go check on it for me? So we did. And I sat on a balcony in Paris with a bottle of rosé and was just like, you're going to and I had a tidbit of an idea, and I'd gone back and forth in email with Serena, and she's like, yep, sounds great. Write that up. So I stayed up till 1 a.m. in Paris writing about hockey in Paris. It was the weirdest place in Vermont while sitting in Paris, and sent it to her at like 1, 2 a.m. And by the time I woke up, she's like, yeah, love it. Great.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, great.
That's crazy. And so this all happened, last summer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then did you start writing the book right away, or?
Yeah, immediately.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like half that trip, I was at like little cafes in Montmartre, which is this really artsy area. And my husband's just sitting there like drinking a beer. And I'm like, sitting away, like, don't bug me. So yeah.
Awesome. That's great. So Blindsided, you submit the proposal, and your book is, was it the first one or the second one to release in the MUU?
Well, they did the 3 at the first time. There's myself, Rebecca Jenchek, and Jacqueline Snow. But gotcha. Order-wise, I was 1, Rebecca was 2, and Jacqueline was 3.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about the characters in the book, and where you got your where you came up with the idea.
I really wanted an enemies to lovers type trope, and because Serena's True North World, the book, my favorite book in the series, is the first one, and it's on the Shipley farm, and I spent every summer of my life in New England, but in Maine, but we would drive through Vermont and New Hampshire to get there and stuff. So I've just always loved that whole area. And I really wanted to meld the farm aspect of True North with the MUU aspect. Okay. So I made them 2 kids who grew up on farms beside each other, whose families hate each other's guts, like for generations, with a burning passion. And it's gotten to the point where these 2 kids don't even know why they hate each other. They were just, it's like you're born and you're with them. That's it. And okay, so that's where the idea came from, was trying to meld the Shipley farm type vibe with MUU. So.
Gotcha. And so we have, correct me if I'm wrong, Tate Adler is the hero, the hockey hero. One farm, family farm, and then we have Maggie
Todd. Yep.
And she's the other family farm. And they're both going to MUU.
They both go to MUU. Tate had gone away to like a prestigious boarding school for high school, so they didn't see each other for a long time. But then they're the same age, and they showed up on campus like same day to start freshman year, and he is really good at hockey, so he's everywhere. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone sees him. He's a MUU poster boy, and she's just like, oh my god. So and they're taking the same program. They're both taking business management, so they have to see each other all the time.
Gotcha.
But they pretend it's like this unwritten rule. They pretend that they don't exist for the first year of school, and then the book starts at the beginning of their sophomore year. And they both have to go to the police station to pick up their grandfathers who have gotten into a brawl at City Hall.
That was the funniest scene ever. All right. So love the enemies to lovers take. And we have the hockey hero and Maggie, who is, she has a younger sister as well, right? So she's kind of taking care of things on their end. Okay. And then through the course of the book, it turns into something different.
Yeah. Basically the brawl was over a spot at the farmer's market. There was one booth left, and it was between them, and the grandfathers brawled, and it ended up going to Tate's family. And then she blackmails him to get him to share the booth. And then they just keep playing tricks and poking each other's buttons and everything. And that ends up getting really hot.
Love it. So I think I had mentioned and sent a couple of scenes to you in my book, Playmaker, Tate, because he's a senior at the same time. My character, Callan, is a senior. They are both, seniors on the hockey team, and they spend a lot of time together and a lot of conversations. And I loved including Tate in those scenes. That was a lot of fun.
Great.
So
that's what I love about this way this series is done with so many authors, is that we can carry each other's characters and that readers still get little bits of everybody else. Like, I love that.
Exactly.
It's great.
Yeah. Yep. And the same thing. So with the 4 different lines, and I don't know how the other authors in the other series worked it out, but I know with the V&V, the Vino and Veritas, there's a lot of crossover. And so I tried to do the same with my book, mainly because, mine is coming in the last second to the last grouping, or wait, no, it is the last grouping. I can include characters that are still in college at the time, which was fun, but it put a lot of stress on me. I don't know. Were there any stressors while you were writing this, aside from, moving across the world and all of that?
Well, being like the first in the series, I sort of had to start with other people's characters before they had. Yeah. So that made me nervous. I was like adding a lot there, and then I cut and paste and sent chunks of dialogue to everyone. I was like, would he say this? Is this right? So there was and also with the coaches and stuff, because I'm the first one writing them, so they have to, I kind of set the vibe, and I'm like, is everybody okay that this guy loves crystals? And right,
yeah. And that was difficult to make sure that we did justice to the other characters in the book. What do you love, Victoria, about writing romance?
I love that, especially right now with the pandemic and everything everyone's gone through, that when you're doing it, you are just like the reader, you're transporting yourself to something that in the end is going to be a happy place. You know that, because you get to create it. You get it to be whatever happiness you want. That I love that. I just love it. I tend to love to write also just relationships and bromances on the side, and just those interactions. I love all of that. I love creating people with their weird quirks, and
If you had to recommend a book to a new reader who hasn't read it before, where would you tell them to start?
Well, I love Blindsided. That's literally, and I know people do that because it's the last book they wrote, but that's my favorite book I've ever written. But I would start, I really loved, with my series, they're all standalones. You can pick up any one you want, but I do like the first 2 in the series, Hometown Players. The first one is called One More Shot. Okay. And the second series is San Francisco Thunder, and the first one's called Score. Okay. You can read them out of order, but you will know who got together in the book before, type thing, because they all feature in. Yeah. I don't know. I really like Hometown Players because I went from the 3 sisters with their hockey boyfriends, husbands, whatever, to other people who had been on the team, who've transferred to other teams. So I ended up with it's not just about one hockey team. It's about players who, I have 6 different hockey teams that they get transferred, that are not transferred, traded, whatever. Gotcha. So and that series is 8 books, I want to say. 6, 7, something. It's a lot of, so you can just, start jump around, and there's a lot to go through. So I like.
How do you keep things fresh for you?
Up until Blindsided, and that was part of the break too. I was like, I don't know what else to do. I've done a goalie. I've done the defenseman. I've done the, misunderstood playboy. I've done the star. I've done the. So I was pausing on hockey, and I was really certain I was done with hockey. And then the Blindsided idea came. Yeah. And it is hockey, but it's not as much hockey as I've done before, because he's got the farm aspect. Yeah. And now I'm taking a break from hockey and moving into small town contemporary. All
right. So good segue. This is your May release. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about that. What can you tell us?
That I'm in the middle of editing it now, and I'm already late, and my editor's like, come on. But what can I tell you? I can tell you that it's hopefully going to be a book, 3 series, possibly 4. series of books. And the first one, it's about a family that own a restaurant in Maine, in a very small town in Maine, with lots of gossips and lots of, nosy.
They are.
They own a restaurant. Their last name is Hawkins, and it's called the Hawkins Lobster Shack. And their dad's a lobster fisherman, and they sell lobster rolls. That's what they do. And the first book is about the youngest kid, whose name is Tara. She's 25, and she has lupus and needs a kidney.
Oh my!
And yeah, it sounds
serious.
But it's really still. I mean, it's an everyday. That's what I like about romance too. You can take everyday, like real serious issues, but you can still bring heart and levity to it, because I like to write quirky dialogue. So anyway, it's the first book's about her, and she's always had this lifelong crush on her older brother's best friend, who is a firefighter who has left town, but he happens to come back to town. And so
nice. And what's that called?
I haven't given away the title yet, but
okay. Then we won't say it.
I can say it. It's because I'm going to put it on TikTok anyway.
Okay.
It's called The Fall We Fell.
The Fall We Fell.
Because it's set in fall in New England.
All right.
And I did have an idea, and I may write it one day. I've started to sort of flesh out a book based in France, and also about the quirks of owning a 221-year-old house, which is what we bought.
Oh my gosh.
And trust me, there are a lot of quirks. We were on, we did a House Hunters International episode. So,
oh my gosh.
French Dreams in Salise de Bern, because that's the name of the town.
Okay, wait, I have to write this down.
15012. That's the episode number. So yeah, I was going to write a book about that, and I still have that idea in the back of my head, but just, I'm not one of those. I like to sort of write more, not directly what's, you know what I mean? More adjacent to my life than in my life. I also have an idea too for another sort of book set in my favorite town, which is an hour from here in Spain. It's called San Sebastian. It's a beautiful little town right on the ocean. It is. It's. I have a book set. Maybe you're like me too. You have like 900 ideas, but only so much time, and you've got to which ones you get out. So
that is the problem number one. Well, aside from editing, problem number one for an author, it's just all the flipping ideas that are coming at us at 100 miles an hour, and we can only write, so much in a day and a week and a month, etc. Yeah. And
there'll be times I like wake up in the middle of the night, or I'm in the shower, and all of a sudden I get this whole new idea, and I have to yell like at myself in my head, like, tell my characters, you simmer down, stay in the corner, you'll get your turn, but it isn't now. Like, yeah.
I hear ya. Where else can readers find you?
TikTok is my new obsession, and I feel like an idiot saying that, but it's just so much fun. So I'm on TikTok. Instagram, for sure. I'm on there a lot. I have an author account and a regular account on Facebook, because as you know, we have to have both.
Everywhere.
And Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter. I know people think it's like the devil's bedroom.
It was great talking with you and getting to know you. Books. I know we chatted quite a bit over the course of writing our books, but hopefully someday I can come visit in France.
That would be great. Hey, we have extra bedrooms if you don't mind. 220-year-old house and a couple hundred spiders, because they love this house.
Oh, really? Oh, well, okay, maybe not.
I make my husband vacuum spiders up like daily. Sorry, world, if it's mean to hurt spiders, but I can't. I just can't.
All right. Well, appreciate you spending the time with me and getting to know you and your books and all the hockey romance that you have for readers.
And thanks for having me. It's so good to see other writers, because we don't get together at conventions anymore. So
no, someday soon, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
And that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Victoria Denault for joining us today to talk about her book Blindsided, which is part of Serena Bowen's World of True North and the Moo U hockey line, as well as her other hockey books and her upcoming small town romance series. That'll be coming up here shortly. And make sure to subscribe below to my channel, because I'll have have lots more videos to come. Also something very special in the next month to celebrate my 1-year anniversary as a booktuber. So there'll be some fun prizes that I'll be giving away. And also check below the links below to follow Victoria and also watch her fun International House Hunters video. That was a lot of fun. I just watched it this past week. So until then, please make sure to be sweet, love hard, and read dirty. Take care.